It's in Doritos as well.
You know the life.
You back in the room now,
Yeah,
yeah?
I got the orange Doritos. We there.
Hey fam, your breath's gotta be kicking, cuz.
You know you ain't got no jaw
baby
coming
Doritos.
tonight.
You know this is recorded.
Bro, I'm good.
You know this
Oh,
is.
is it? Oh
good.
shit, yo! Hey, this is Stoppage Time behind the
Still
scenes,
single
bro.
out here, bro.
I said
Right.
stoppage time
Hey,
after dark, bro.
hey.
11 o'clock.
Yeah, it is. Man's chewing now because you can't. You know, back in the day we couldn't chew on the mic because you just.
Just bare fucking feedback. Innit?
Trust me. But let's get into it, man. Welcome back to another episode of Stoppage Time TV. We're live back in the flesh, live and direct, all of that good stuff there. Make sure you're subscribed to all of the DSPs. Make sure you're following our handles. Make sure you're following on YouTube as well. And make sure you're signed up to get notifications and all of that. What are you, man, saying? You good? Everyone collected 3 points, innit?
Flesh, bro. Yeah, man. Which
Feelings restored, man. It's been a while. The feelings restored. But we're in that weird place where
I don't know what feeling that is. Not for me, bro.
Fam, 3 points, bro.
I'm a long way from restored, bro. I don't even know if we got started in the first place.
Bro, 3 points is a feeling. I can't lie to you, man. 3 points is still a feeling.
Bro,
it's still a feeling, bro.
The anxiety I had in that second half.
That was one of the
one
of the poorest matches. That Spurs Everton game's one of the poorest games this
That
season.
game was so bad.
I'm
And
not gonna lie.
the irony of it is that Ancelotti and Jose used to do like Champions League drillings, and now they're doing some.
Did you see the accolade thing they threw up before it?
Yeah.
I was like, yo, these men have really stepped down now. Everton and Tottenham.
Race.
It's crazy, man. And there's a lot we can talk and touch into, but as you guys know in the stoppage, we tend to not beat around the bush and go over the same topics over and over again. It's always about having that real conversation and talking real stuff. So at some point we're going to touch on Arsenal. I think it's right to have a proper Arsenal conversation. But
hey,
let's
kill
start
us every
with
week for not doing it.
real talk. But let's start with that. Let's start with that game. So obviously it's a victory at home. A clean sheet.
Bro.
But I mean,
2 rare sightings in one day.
real talk. But it's the game's the game, man. Like for me, I just found it mad because everything that is Jose Mourinho happened in this game. You had players arguing with each other. You had a really kind of like a match where the game was just taken, the life was taken out of the game. But yeah,
Right,
talk to me.
so
What are you telling me,
bro,
right now?
Like in my opinion, facts what you lot said there. Like one of the worst games I've had to watch. But I'll tell you something, yeah. If you tell me I get results and that's the football we play, no complaints from me. None whatsoever. So for me, the key part of this is the result at the end of the day. It's when the results ain't going right, football like this can seem like, Lord have mercy. Because watching that, I'm not going to lie to you, even I almost fell asleep. Like, but first half, if we talk about it, I mean, once again, my issue, as I've been saying for weeks, free Ndombele. And we saw Harry Winks starting. And I'm sorry, but I failed to see what he brings to this team. Like, aside from, like, he's always picking out the safe option. He's very unimaginative, very uncreative. And I don't mean to always, like, kind of dig out a player or whatever. But, yeah, it's just when we're 4 games in and I'm still not seeing even a glimpse of Ndom, like, I don't think he got on today. Yeah, it just makes you wonder kind of what's going on behind the scenes. Like, and Jose is usually not someone who holds back on things like that. So I'm actually curious as to what the issue is. Is it application? Is it fitness? Is it an actual rift between the two? I don't know what it is because we had so much possession in that first half, but looks no threat whatsoever. None. And that's the thing. It's you can keep the ball, you can keep it ticking around, passing it sideways, left or right, but you ain't going forward. Again, Harry Kane, absolutely no service. Like, it's becoming a recurring theme now. He had more touches in our box than he did in the other. I saw him doing more defensive headers than attacking headers. Like, it is what it is. And this is me talking on a win. You see what I'm saying? This is the football we're playing at the moment, but it is what it is. For me, I don't see our football improving till our players improve. Put it that way.
And I want to hold you there. I want to hold you there because that statement is really key for me. I know you said we're going to touch on Arsenal. Obviously, we touched United, we touched Chelsea. But it's weird because all of the managers we're talking about, we can't really judge them until next season because that's when it's the nitty-gritty.
Mm-hmm.
But your manager's come out and said it's a 5-year plan and there's players within the team now that are fundamental to this plan.
You know who he's talking about.
That sounds very familiar though. That sort of fundamental and everything. But Jose in 5 years doesn't really usually go hand in hand.
I'm not surprised to hear that. Yeah, I'm not surprised to hear him say that. I think in his head, he's thinking this is going to be his longest job he's ever had. I don't know whether he'll be able to see that long through. Because for me, I think he will probably end up being the fall guy if this board don't invest, if we don't offload a lot of this dead weight that we've got at the club. So for me, where he's getting a 5-year plan from, I definitely agree with him that it's not going to be a quick fix. By no means necessary is it even next season. I will be grateful if we're in a top 4 race next season, I'll be honest with you. Like, we need some big additions. But long term, I think definitely that's the plan for Spurs. Again, shall we say.
I don't think the football's going to improve. The players might improve, obviously, but I don't think the football is going to improve.
I don't expect it to. You know what you get with Jose.
Yeah, it may become more effective because you have better players, but in terms of like improving and stuff, I don't really reckon it's going to improve. Like, I can't see him. He's not. What's he going to do? Some crazy tactical change? You would have started implementing it from now.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, you would have started seeing you would have started seeing what's being made. So this is what
patterns or whatever.
This is what other players are going to walk into. So I just think maybe you guys can become more effective if you get some better players in and maybe more rigid and hard to beat and stuff. But in terms of like the football improving, I can't really see that.
The interesting thing though is, for me, I don't think Tottenham historically have a style of play. Like, the reason why his football was such an issue at United was because you had Van Gaal before that, who played the dire football. So you almost couldn't tolerate any more of that. So when you got another 3 years of that, or 2.5 years, whatever it was, you lot had enough of that. With us, it's like, we had the Pochettino, we had the pretty football for like a year, 2 years. Aside from that, Spurs don't have like a playing identity. So if we became more rigid, more tough, more resilient to beat, and mentally much better, instead of caving like we did against Sheffield, against, was it Bayern Munich earlier in the season, Brighton, Newcastle. So many times this season, this team has kind of mentally kind of thrown it. And he's touched on that last week as well. I think that's one thing long-term that Jose, I think he can improve, is the mental and the toughness of this team.
I think that's why that's why his appointment is so weird, because when you usually go for managers, if you go for like a Guardiola, you go for like the philosophy and everything. You go for kind of like Nagelsmann, all these sort of people, it's because you're going for the product. Yeah. With Jose, you're kind of going for the end goal, which is he's 100%. Known for winning. And Cam, this is where your viewpoint on this is interesting, because a lot of people think that his winning days are over. And especially with a club like Spurs, where Spurs weren't exactly a kind of a groundbreaking club anyway, you were kind of always on the periphery. You've got closer, you got to Champions League final. I don't see where Spurs are going to be now if they can't.
I think that's where he's kind of saying with the 5-year plan, he wants to instill this kind of sense of, don't put too much pressure on me to win next season or the season after. That's what I think he's saying that for. I think he wants to kind of...
That's counter to how he operates, so that's why it's 100%. Really weird.
Listen, Jose Mourinho as a manager is counter to how Spurs are run as a club. Like, he is a short-term manager, and we are a club who always build on long-term legacies or whatever that never come to fruition. And for once you hired a manager that you're like, we want to speed this process up. And all of a sudden now, things are a little sticky. You're saying, you know what, financially, we can't afford that. You might have to revert back to our old plan. So essentially, Spurs as a club are not moving forward. They're kind of going backwards in a sense.
Do you know what the big question here is? The big question is who's going to win, the club or Jose? Because Jose has his way, Daniel Levy has his way, surely. So someone's going to
It's not even really about that, though. It's about, if you were going to do a long-term project, then Jose wasn't the manager that you should have hired.
No, of course.
If he's going to come into the job and be like, psych, 5-year plan it is, that I'm here now, then you wouldn't have wanted to have him. There was other managers that you would have probably wanted to get, you know what I mean? Like, who actually...
No, it was another manager. It was Keep Poch. Simple.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah, Keep Poch. But people that have the idea of doing long-term projects, or people that have the idea of being able to like
Building
build
over time,
up,
yeah.
you know what I'm trying to say? So with the appointment, for him to say 5 years is a bit like, and the thing is, the way I liken it to, because obviously I'm at Man United, when he was at United, when it went wrong, like for example the Sevilla game when we didn't win and then we were out, and then he turned around and said, well, to be honest, if
Was
you
that the
look at
Ben Yedder
Sevilla's
game, bro?
European history, if you look at Sevilla's history and you look at United's recent history, then Sevilla should be going through. Like, I was just like,
But
so he tried to like undermine the whole.
No, but that's another thing. That's another thing. United also, you have that pressure of history. Spurs, you don't have that. That's why he can kind of blag that and say he's at this club.
Yeah, but that's the thing, that then now he can kind of like hide behind that. He can kind of be like, hold on, you guys don't win stuff without me anyway, so don't start trying to put pressure on me. You don't win stuff.
That's why I think it's
which is my next question to you lot. Yeah, do you lot think that now this board, with him saying that, surely the board are behind him, and if he, let's say, is continuing this ugly style of football, we're still not getting top 4 next season. This board have now got to have patience with him, surely. If you know coming into it, they've got to have patience with him over the 2, 3, 4 years, whatever.
See, I don't know. I'm of the opinion, where like we all know what he's like. He's kind of got that 1, 2, 3 year sort of methodology. I don't think. I think he gets bored easily, and I think at the same time, we've always seen it. Yeah, but we've always seen it as well, where like he will do certain things for you to push him. I think that's fair to say. United, Chelsea, like he will do things to push him. I don't think Spurs can push him because it's kind of like, listen, you being here isn't a favour to us. And that's why I say, is it going to be a battle between what they want? Because he's going to say, listen, I know my way has worked before. If you give me money, I can deliver. They're saying we want to do 5 years. Well, something for me is going to have to give in that plan. Like
for me,
because even Jose, is there not a way that this could be potentially Jose's longest job? Is that completely something that is?
This is what I was going to say. It could. The thing is, it could be, because that would be. He would just need to do 4 seasons, basically.
4 seasons, yeah.
So it possibly could be, but the thing is, like, when we talk about, obviously Jose's won more than Spurs and all this type of stuff, but I don't see it much as a Ancelotti at Everton. Levy won't care to sack Jose Mourinho, bro, if it comes. And the Spurs fans already have, no one's on their knees thanking Jose for being here. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not Jose didn't come straight from Chelsea to Spurs. You know what I mean? Like, it's been a long time coming. So I don't think it's kind of like, Ancelotti can probably do whatever he wants at Everton because he's much bigger than the club or whatever. Yeah, exactly. So the way I see it is, it's not really much of a favour. So,
well, then isn't that an even bigger indictment on Daniel Levy, though?
Yeah.
For me, that's in terms of the fact that you hired him. You know this is a short-term man. You know the way he gets success is by spending money. So from day one, you've made that decision wrong. Because remember, he brought in Poch Jose the very next day after Mourinho. So this is something that he's been working on in the pipelines. If you've put this much thought into it, you've surely got to see it out.
But
the thing is, quickly, I think you don't need to realize. You don't need to. Yeah, go on.
I think it's like it goes back to what we said about Ed Woodward and whatnot. Like, a lot of people within football may not actually be footballing people. So in Daniel Levy's head, he's probably seeing Champions League finalists. You know what? We're nearly there. We can build on this with some quick success. Bring in Jose. But at the same time, you haven't looked at what went into Poch getting there, where Poch over-delivered and you didn't actually give him a squad to develop. And that kind of tenure of that squad was coming up to its last legs. Like Lloris, essentially, 1 or 2 seasons, Vertonghen, Alderweireld. This is not a team where you can continue to build on. You have to kind of start changing things now, which is investment. And the key thing that we don't mention enough with Spurs, which was highlighted in one of Cam's tweets this week, is your lack of academy. Your lack of academy is a really, really, really bad thing, because you've got no pipeline. You've got no pipeline, and you can't go and draw the best talent in the world. So that is, again, another red flag.
It's borderline embarrassing. In 2 decades, I think... Go on.
You need to realize Jose doesn't speak in the media for no reason. Everything Jose does, he speaks for a reason.
Yeah, you're right.
He's always speaking about to basically to upstairs. He uses press conferences to speak to his chairman, bro. And if you don't watch he was talking about Liverpool with Klopp, right? And he was talking about Liverpool with. Can you guys hear me? Yeah.
Yeah. You cut off there for a second.
Talking about Liverpool with Klopp. He was talking about Liverpool with Klopp. How Origi was the only player that started yesterday to Klopp's first team that he came with. Jose was basically trying to hint, I need an overhaul. That's what Jose Mourinho does. Jose doesn't waste words, bro. Jose is not talking about 5-year plan for a reason. Jose is trying to basically say, look at what Liverpool did, and it took them 5 years to be champions. So, and they had to overhaul the whole squad. So he's basically saying to upstairs, like, listen, if you don't start, then there's gonna be no movement.
No, 100%, and I agree with that. Even
no progress. Jose Mourinho always doesn't waste words, fam. He's saying that.
No, 100%. I agree. And for me, I don't think he's wrong though. Like really and truly, like Liverpool have set the blueprint for how teams should follow. If you've fallen off of a little bit, how to get back up.
That's true.
Oh, your team's moving patchy, bro.
Hey, you need to.
Your team's moving patchy.
Bro, my
I didn't catch anything of what you said there at the end.
Your team's moving patchy. That's what happens when you live in the sticks, bro.
He was actually making a good point there as well.
I wasn't even speaking.
No, we didn't hear the last bit.
I'm like way behind, fam. I don't know what you guys are even talking about.
Yeah, your team's lagging, bro.
Hey, Cam, you need to sort your internet out.
Hey, I'm coming out, man. I'm coming out. I'll be back.
All right, cool.
Mazzoline. Flipping. But yeah, no, it'll be interesting to see how that kind of prevails, man. Because boy, when you look at it, you guys are a point behind Arsenal. They've had 3 managers this season. European football.
Jose ain't going nowhere, bro. That compensation is way too big to pay. Mm-hmm. I don't see Daniel Levy getting rid of it.
But again, this is why it's so funny, because he would take that compensation. He would take that. He would take it.
Of course he would. He did it at Chelsea twice. But the thing is, it's what benefit does he get from that for me? It's like, I think he actually wants to achieve something at this club for me. And it's up to kind of next season, I'll be honest with you, I feel like we'll get a better gauge of even his coaching levels. I think right now he's still trying to shift the mentality of the players. Yeah.
Well, mentality, what you said today. Mentality, that's a key point. And
100%. Like,
we don't need Cam to discuss that. Yeah, go on.
Even with Son and Lloris, like when they got into that scrap, I'll be real with you, I stacked it straight to the group chat. I need that passion. I need that fire. I want my players beefing. I want them scrapping because it shows they care.
Yeah.
When they don't, I'm just like, all right, these men just walked off the pitch, not giving a shit. Like that, they clearly don't care. How can a manager change that mentality? That comes from within. So when he's saying after the game, yo, I rattled a few of my players this week. I told them, listen, demand more of your others. Demand more as the captain. Demand more as the leaders of the dressing room. And when I see Lloris 40 yards away calling Son out for not tracking back, listen, people say Son shouldn't be tracking back. Sometimes you got to, bro. Sometimes you have to. And I'm sorry, Richarlison nearly scored from that. So I don't see Hugo Lloris was in the wrong. Like, you should have been tracking back. But for me, I want to see more of that character, and I want to see more of that mentality, in all honesty, moving forward. And I think that's one of the biggest things I keep telling people. I knew Jose didn't come for tiki-taka style. I knew he didn't come for aesthetics. But mentality can't be matched. Can't be matched.
And on that mentality point, the elephant in the room, we've spoken about it before, but there's no way we can't speak on Ndombele again. Do you reckon that might be a key element as to why he's not playing, mentality?
I think so. I think Jose hates like people who sulk or get their heads down. And I think he looks like one of those. Like when you see Tottenham training clips, he doesn't look the most energetic. He doesn't look like he's buzzing around the place trying to, like a bit like Harry Winks. Harry Winks is like that. When you watch him in training and things like that, he is buzzing around because he
trains how he plays, innit?
100%. Ndombele, you don't get that vibe. Like I saw a video last week. It was like 30 degrees heat. The guy still had a woolly hat on. Like, fam, is your head not hot? But it's, like, I don't know.
Again,
I feel for him because as well. There's what 8 games left at the end of the season. We've got nothing to play for now.
No, like 5 in the Prem. 5 in the Premier,
Yeah,
5.
even 5, yeah.
Yeah.
But throw him in. You've got nothing to lose and everything to gain. He either becomes a good player and you can incorporate him next season, or guess what? He steps up his value and then you can sell him on next season.
Yeah.
If that's what you want to do.
True. I'll throw this one out there because a lot of people say that Jose's finished. Cam's one of those guys. And they also say that...
It's all United fans, bro.
And there's a lot of people that say stuff like, oh, his style doesn't work with kind of modern day. And the reason I bring that up is a lot of players, or a lot of Mourinho players, is kind of train how you play. That same intensity, that same with passion and whatnot. Mm-hmm. We're in a space now where you're kind of getting players like Ndombele, where the talent level is, it's a really good. And like they might not necessarily put in that hard graft in training, innit? So it's like, is that part of the reason why he's not playing? Obviously, we might not never know.
Like,
we might not find out till the documentary, which is crazy.
I feel like this is another thing that Jose gets killed on. It's like we do a lot of this, how he manages and talks about some of the players and things like that. And like, for me, I feel like even in the Ndom case, are we expecting less of some of our players? So in the sense of when Roy Keane is on Sky Sports and he's giving it, fire, hunger, desire, everyone's loving it, retweeting it and fighting for the name on the front, and they'll remember the one on the back, whoever said that quote. Tony Adams, was it?
Yeah, Tony Adams, yeah.
People love that. But then the minute a manager says that about his players and says, "Oi, I want you to instill that mentality. I want you to work harder," people are like, "Oh, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't talk about Ndom like that. You're being too harsh." Huh? These are professional athletes. They are that they should do the best for themselves anyway. They should do the best for their fans. Then they should do the best for their bloody wages they get paid for. Like, what are we doing at the end of the day? We're saying, you can't give criticism now. Come on, behave, man. Like,
no, you're right.
Like sometimes we go too far with that, and we start cuddling these new generation of players. It's like, nah, they're still grown adults, man. They got to step up to the plate and take accountability. Like, and Dom, that's one thing. Like, as much as I'll say Jose has to give him opportunities, on the other foot, he has to earn that
accountability.
100%, bro. Yeah. Like, it goes two ways. It doesn't just, you don't get everything handed to you in life. You got to work for shit. And I need to see Dom as a record signing, turn up to training every day and show these man, I'm the record signing. I'm the number one centre mid at this club. Because right now it's looking like Lo Celso, who's got 0 goals and 0 assists this season. But he's our best midfielder. You best believe it.
He's come on a long way. I'll give him that. Cam, you there? Yo, Cam.
Cam is gone, man.
This guy's a bad man.
Technical difficulties with Cam today, boy.
It's so mad. Listen, he'll come. Oh, you good? You put your video on, yo?
Well, you know what it is?
Yo.
It's because my computer is doing a restart.
What, mate?
You're mad, man.
Doing it at the same time.
You're mad, man. You're mad. You couldn't postpone it until tomorrow.
Can you guys even hear me, bro?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Let me just stay quiet until I'm back in it.
Alright, cool.
It's not me, bro. I can't even close it. I'm trying. It's automatic.
Alright, boom. You know what? Yeah, let's go into Pep. Man City this season, 33 games played, 21 wins, 3 draws, 9 losses in the league. That is the most Pep Guardiola has lost in a league in his whole career. 9 losses. I'm just going to leave the floor to you because I know that, Guardiola is a man you respect. However, you have some questions for him. So I'm going to leave the floor to you. I'm just going to leave it open-ended. What do you think?
Listen, for me, with Pep this season, I don't know. Like, the fall-off of what we've seen, the standard he's set over the 2 years. Like, people always get on about coaching. But have we seen that from Pep this year when they're 25 points off Liverpool, when the standards have dropped? Like, when we talk about Laporte's injury and City's defence looks so weak, is that not Pep's job to coach that? Is that not Pep's job to improve that? But people only look at the going forward and the attacking play and they're still scoring 4 goals past Burnley or Southampton or whatever. It's all good. Nah, bro. Once you set a standard that high, you got to maintain that. And the one recurring thing we're starting to see with Pep though is, unless a cash influx comes in and he gets his wish of who he wants and who is the perfect match for his philosophy, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. And we saw that from his first year at City and we saw that this year at City. So for me, it's a case of Why is it when it comes to Pep, he needs to get his perfect players in order for his system to work? But when it's Jose, it's like, nah, he's got a coach. It don't matter if the players are trash. Arteta's improved his players for 2 games, so Jose's got to improve his players for 2 games. Nah, bro. Pep has let the standard slip this year. And I'll tell you now, if they somehow bottle that second leg of that Champions League tie against Madrid, big questions on Pep, boy. Big questions, especially when you've taken that type of lead.
Yeah.
Boy.
The latter point is a strong one because you have to kind of keep the same energy in it. You can't just attack one manager or something and then say for another manager, oh, but he had players missing. I will play devil's advocate and say that if you've been performing at a level for that long, for so long, naturally it gets to a point where it's kind of, how do you sustain that? But what I will say is, I don't think it's acceptable that they're 23 points behind Liverpool. I think that's crazy.
Bro.
I think that's crazy. That's 1. 2, I don't think it's acceptable that even though they've won the league and whatnot, your standard drops so low. I think for me, that's been the most surprising thing. It's all right, be second and lose a battle.
Yeah.
But the fact that you're losing 9 games, which is not like you, the fact that just small things, it's like the Man City that we know is not the same anymore. If we look at it realistically, Leicester City have been in terrible form. They're only 8 points behind City.
And that's the thing. It's like, for me, the big issue is the points gap. It's not even...
It's what you'd see in the Bundesliga. It's not...
Bro, they weren't even a race this year. Liverpool had gone far and away. And I hear what you're saying about, like, once you've achieved that level of success, to maintain that. But that's where good managers come in. That's where, like, where we give Pep all this praise and credit. This is where we want to see it come from. When the chips are down, how do you react? And we ain't seen that. I'm sorry.
And the money one is that's a really key telling part as well, because we know that they're going to spend big this year.
Yeah.
And people give kind of Pep a blight because high operation, higher cost of player, sort of, you need that skilled player. Do people kind of let that slide, or is it kind of like, well, you're kind of just spending money at issue? People are always going to fall on both sides of that. But I think it is interesting what's happening.
They're gonna need to spend anyway to try and catch up to Liverpool. But for me, I'm tired of hearing this excuse all the time. Whenever Pep takes over a team and it's 3-4 years in, and people say, "Oh, you know, they've won so much, so now they're burnt out." We heard that at Barcelona. We heard that at Bayern. We're hearing that at City now. Like, when is this burnout gonna stop? We keep saying Jose's got a 3-year syndrome. Can we start looking at Pep syndrome, please?
But even with the whole burn, like, you know what? Let me take a random game of Man City's. Yo, you back here?
I hope so. I don't think I'm back fully, but
we can hear you. You seem calm still.
But
I'm hobbling back on the pitch.
Man said my hamstring's a bit tight, but I'll give it another 10.
You know, like
basically, just to bring you up to speed, we were saying that.
No, I was hearing it. I was listening.
Okay, cool. I'm just let me pick up a random game. Yeah, Man City, Liverpool, right? Starting lineup for them is Laporte, Garcia, Walker, Mendy, keeper, De Bruyne, Rodri, Gundogan, Foden, Jesus, Sterling. On their bench, Otamendi, Cancelo, Mahrez, Silva, Zinchenko,
they've got
Stones.
The deepest team.
So
there should be no reason for
that is the point I want to bring here. City are afforded the opportunity to bring on a former PFA winner, to bring on one of their legends, to bring on one of the greater players last season, Bernardo Silva, I think that's fair to say, to bring on a right back that they bought for how much and they don't play, and they're about to replace him.
I'll take him all day, you know.
So again, this is the key thing for me that I feel like needs to be addressed. I get that they missed key people this season, but that doesn't seem enough for me. City are one of the only teams in the Premier League you can say, you know what, them man have depth.
This is what I mean, though. But when I said that Laporte's injury is overstated, people were saying, "Oh, I don't know, blah 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 blah." But bro, you can't put everything down. Look, Laporte was playing against Southampton. They lost. What's the excuse now?
You laid it more towards the motivation, though, wasn't it? You said like they've almost had like a burnout. But is that a thing that we're seeing with Pep more and more now? Every team he goes to, we always hear about this burnout.
Yeah, the thing is, look,
with burnouts, I understand though, because like naturally, I feel like if you're working like so hard, like, because think about it, like they pipped Liverpool by 1 point, they won the year before. I feel naturally like over time, you can't get 100 out of 100 on every single paper you do. Like sometimes you might get a question. It's
No,
like,
but that gap I'm saying should have been a lot closer.
but that's the
this year,
thing, yeah. For
considering
me,
how
the
deep their
space
squad
of the
is, how
gap
good
is
their team is.
telling. Yeah, that's
But
for me.
it's
That's the key thing.
Not about even about necessarily about. It's not even necessarily about motivation, but it's just about Pep Guardiola. The way he is, he's intense. You know what I mean? Guardiola is intense. Like every second, he's intense. Every little moment, he's intense. And you even watch that Barcelona documentary. Dani Alves and PK and that were like, towards the end, they started being like, it was a bit draining. They were a bit drained. He fills you with information so much that after a while, it's like, yo, you know what I mean? Dani Alves said it himself. Before, I would have, if he told me to jump off the top of the Camp Nou, I would have jumped off. But in the final season, I would have just ran down the stairs as quick as possible. Yeah. That means he was saying I wouldn't have really listened to you anymore. Yeah. Because Pep is intense, bro. Like 3-4 years, he's intense. Bayern Munich, he left in a good time anyway for himself. They all loved him, but he left in a good time for himself. But Barcelona, he knows he drained them out. And it's the same. Wait, let's not say it's the same as City yet, because horrible league campaign, but we've seen
Champions League
Premier League clubs. Yeah, we've seen in Premier League clubs. You can have a bad Premier League and win the Champions League. Do you know what I mean? So let's see with that. But in terms of, I do think it does come down to his. It can come down to his motivation. I think it's very intense, and I just think this Laporte thing is definitely overplayed. And the thing is, like, City, Pep doesn't change. That's the thing. Pep is plan A or die. So imagine doing plan A from first year to fourth year, fifth year. Eventually teams are going to start clocking on. Whereas, so that's an indictment on him for me, because Fergie, for example, he could go again.
Bro, I'm so glad you brought up Fergie.
Klopp, look at Klopp. Klopp started at Liverpool, gung-ho football, didn't work out. Now he's kind of more rigid and stuff. And now you're looking at who they're linked with in the summer, Thiago and stuff. So clearly he's trying to do another different. Now he probably wants a bit more ball possession, a bit more borders.
Yeah. Would you say that KDB sort of going into that sort of kind of like playmaker crossing sort of style was Guardiola's change?
No, because
I don't think he's changed at all.
No, I don't think he's changed. And this is the thing. You look at the game against Southampton, let's just say
26 shots, right? No goal.
The game, to be honest, they were peppering, they were onto them, but there was not. It started becoming a lack of invention. They started getting chances off ricochets, and it's falling to them in the box, and it wasn't like it wasn't like they're creating marvelous chances and stuff. Like, he has a plan A, and that's why he's one of the best, because when it works, it's unbelievable. But when it goes bad, he hasn't got a plan B, and there's no fault in being able to criticize him, because when you look at the Champions League as well, he tried to play plan A with all these other clubs other than Barcelona.
That's what's killed him.
Exactly. So
every year,
I feel like there's always a thing where it's like you can't criticize Pep. If you criticize Pep, you're a hater. Or how can you criticize this? It's not about that. Everyone is criticizable. I can criticize Fergie for his lineup against Barcelona in the Champions League finals. I've never agreed with it. You can argue with everyone, but the way I see it, you got to look at sustained success. And the only manager that's had sustained success with like the same club is Fergie.
So.
When I look at the way Fergie does it,
he reinvents himself.
2 years.
That's the key thing I want you to touch on, bro.
Yeah.
Because that's the one thing where I'm saying with Pep we see the burnout every 4 years. The beautiful thing we saw with Fergie was
reinvention.
The amount of times he reinvented that United team, from the '92 babies to the RVN team to the Rooney, Tevez, whatever it was, and then even to Van Persie. Like every time you saw the evolution, and that's what I loved about Fergie, was he would suffer for a year or 2 years. He'd be willing
and then come back banging off.
But when he comes back with Pep, we rarely even get the opportunity to see that comeback, because he's like, I'm burnt out. See you later. I'm done. I need a break.
Yeah, like the thing with Fergie is that like Fergie was very understood what was going on before it happened. Do you know what I mean? Fergie would sell his best player. Do you know what I mean? If it
Like
means
this, all
to
right.
change the team, Fergie will get rid of his captain. Fergie doesn't like. That's what Fergie would do if it means something's got to change in the team. Whereas City, for example, they lost company, and they
Didn't
obviously
replace.
thought they were too good and didn't replace him. They obviously
Yeah.
thought they were okay and didn't replace. These are moments that you got to capitalize on because football moves quick. This is why I keep. This is why I keep saying like, you can't just say Chelsea are not gonna. Or when are Chelsea next gonna win a league or when are United? But football moves quick. Could you have told me 3 years ago that Liverpool are going to be a Champions League and Premier League champions? You couldn't. Football moves quick. You don't sign. You don't replace company. You have a little injury at the back. A few
You're screwed.
motivational issues, you're 25 points off the title. It's crazy, bro. Football's crazy. So he needs to find a way. But now it's probably just going to look like he's going to spend a lot of money this summer and probably get around it. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, if City have got no Champions League football next season, they're going to win the league. So
That's a fair point. I mean,
Cheaters.
with that sort of depth, there's no
Bro,
excuse. There's no excuse.
But Paul Merson said it lovely. Paul Merson was like, "Of course, City are going to win the Carling Cup every year. Their B team is almost as good as everyone's A team." Like,
Bro.
Listen, I'm glad you said that because that Jose Mourinho video surfaced when he was a
I was
pundit,
just about to say that.
and he said that what did he say? He said that what it was City,
Yo, there's 4 teams
City-
that can win the title. There's
City, Spurs, Liverpool, and Man City
and City's
B.
B team.
Such an idiot.
it's
Such
the
an idiot.
truth. Like,
So why is Spurs not competing then?
Hey, hey.
Like, this is the thing. I was seeing people say to me like, and this is where I agree with Fuad in terms of if you're the coach that everyone says you are, then I was seeing people say, "Oh, City need a new CM if Silva goes." But I'm like, but ain't that Foden? Okay, so I'm like, so Mahrez, Raheem Sterling. So even with Sane gone, Mahrez, Raheem Sterling, Foden,
chilling.
Gundogan. So you got Mahrez, Raheem Sterling, Fernandinho, Gundogan, Bernardo Silva, KDB, Foden. Them seven's not good enough to rotate around and win a league.
Bro.
You have to go and sign more onto that. Bro, Man United are one injury away from seeing Andre Pereira.
But this is what I'm saying. In terms of the depth that they have,
like,
you have to question why that point gap was so
make
big.
excuses.
But we can revisit this one soon.
And have you my bad, one last thing before I know you're probably going to move on from it is, have you noticed how everyone's now just turned into like Gabriel Jesus isn't a good player? But before it was like, oh, Pep's work on him. Oh, number 2 for Aguero.
I don't know if you remember,
now it's like we need a striker.
6 months ago, I said on Stoppage Time that I do not think Jesus will ever be ready to fill Aguero's boots. And now more and more the murmurs are coming. And especially when you saw the Southampton game yesterday where he started, I was not impressed.
It's like, where's the Pep coaching? Isn't
100%. And even another player that where the Pep coaching, John Stones, who's meant to be the prototype and the glove that fits Pep's playing the ball out the back. Listen, I don't rate Stones, and I think maybe he was oversold in the beginning of his career. But the lack of development we've seen in some of these players, even like Foden, till the last few weeks, his development, you would have said, was stunted.
A lot of people say he should go on loan. It's true.
Bro, you see what I'm saying? So for me, it's not being too harsh and being critical on Pep, but Pep has set such a high standard.
It's asking questions. Like with
all
anything,
it is.
You ask questions, man. Because this is weird. Like for him, like everyone that has followed his career will look at this season and see 9 losses. That doesn't look right. We need to kind of ask questions about how this came about. 100%. And we can't just let it go down to the whole thing about, it's because Liverpool walked away with the league, so they became complacent. No, we actually need to break down the components and see, okay.
No doubt these questions will be asked on Sky Sports in like 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, of course.
City are well equipped to go and win the Champions League in terms of squad. So they're still well in it. And if this goes down to one game, it is going to be one game each, then City are right in it. You know what I mean? So let's see with that. But in terms of, again, people are probably going to watch it and be like, oh, you man are got an agenda against Pep. No, listen, I can take
We've been there for a minute.
I can take you through the history books, mate. Fergie, in 2002, they were saying he should go. He said, you know what, I might go. He didn't go. They were saying, oh, it's the right time. 2004, when Jose Mourinho came, people were saying Fergie should get sacked, bro. Alex Ferguson should get sacked. Arsene Wenger, he got run out of here. Jose Mourinho, he's being run out of here. Don't make it out like we can't talk about Pep Guardiola. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's how all the elites get questioned, bro. So I don't want to hear no, you man got an agenda. No. Fergie to get sacked, bro. So
moving away from Pep, his former assistant, man like Mikel Arteta.
Goodbye.
Interesting because in terms of the table, the Premier League table, you have a situation where this guy, I heard that. It's such an idiot. We've got a situation where Arsenal and Spurs are in the same sort of position. Arsenal, of course, had 3 coaches this season. You might have had 2. If you look at the form table, of course, like I hate stuff like this, but it needs to be highlighted. If you look at the form table since January the 1st, Arsenal are 3rd in the league in terms of form.
When did Arteta get hired?
Sorry?
When did Arteta get hired?
January, wasn't it?
Yeah, I believe
December,
so.
Early January.
It was after the Lumberg stink, innit? And that was kind of like just after the FA Cup.
Turn of the year, I remember that. It was turn of the year. But listen, he's done a fantastic job there. I'm not going to lie. Like, when I was watching them... No, in the sense of their patterns of play. When I was watching
20th of December,
they're playing some dead teams, don't get me wrong. But I think against Wolves, I was impressed at how they were defending. And Xhaka especially. Like, he was fucking... I'm not going to lie to you, for a player who I was trashing for years, under Arteta, he's looked improved, I'm not going to lie to you. And he looks like a key part to that team. But listen, you got to give credit where it's due. He's improved their... I don't know. They're not as soft-centered, I don't think. Yeah, there's something about them that looks a little bit different, if I'm honest.
Do you know
and
what
even like going forward, I like how he's incorporated a lot of the youths, like the Saka, how Nketiah has just come back in and he's having an impact as well. Like I like what he's done. Even Willock got his first goal the other day, was it?
Is it fair to say he's got a similar sort of blueprint, Ole, in the sense of, you know what, I just need to get the fans back to feeling good. I need to get the fans back to feeling good. I need to get my main striker and the main person kind of, scoring goals and important in the team's eyes again. I need to kind of get the fans buzzing about some youth players. I need to kind of get these exciting players that are bringing hope, like Saka and Aubameyang, down to contracts. I need to give the fans something to look forward to. So, I'll bring thing. And I need to kind of, be accountable. So Guendouzi, you were messing up. Okay, cool. I'll take you out the squad.
I feel things like that I like.
For me, it's very similar to what Oli did in terms of at the beginning, in that in that caretaker stint where you guys were just beating everyone and it was like, oh my god, what's going on here, Cam? It was like, oh my gosh, it was amazing. I think it's similar to that. And the key thing I wanted to point on about Mikel Arteta is, with Lampard, with Ole, and again with Jose, I think you can only really adequately judge him next season when he has his players. He can really settle in and everything.
No, 100%.
And I think 100%. The other thing is, I think this Pep stigma needs to go because people are going to kill him. Like, be like Pep, be like Pep. One, he's his own man. And 2, if every manager was supposed to be like their number 1, then why isn't Paul Clement like Ancelotti? Like, you get me? Like, it doesn't always work.
He's definitely trying to take little bits of Pep, though.
Yeah, he might take... I'm sure Lampard takes little bits of Jose, but you can't say that, because Guardiola was a success, that Arteta has to be the same success and everything. I think people just need to make sure they have sensible sort of realizations of what's going to happen.
The product of David Moyes, mate.
Exactly. Like, shout out S. S is probably watching this. S told us straight, who is the manager that he chilled with for the most of his life? David Moyes. So what footballer do you reckon you're going to expect?
He's showing that resilience, like David Moyes, bro.
The West Ham result.
Listen.
When I look at Arteta, the thing about Arteta is that, like, he is doing all right in terms of he has kind of stabilized things a little bit. And the difference between him and the Ole situation is that he's actually gone through adversity. It wasn't pretty straight away. And it's kind of now looking like, oh, okay, we're bouncing back here. You know what I mean? They got embarrassed against City. Luis, all of that circus, right? Straight away. Game. Yeah, and the Brighton game. And then now, it's the thing about Arsenal is that obviously the expectations right now isn't so high. So 3 wins, 4 wins will make them feel like, oh yeah, things are happening. But you just got to take it back to just a few weeks ago. You lost against Brighton.
Yeah.
So there is still got to be a level of staying grounded and stuff. But one thing is they know is that all the players now know, especially with the Guendouzi situation, you know who's boss now.
Yeah.
Guendouzi, you're messing about, you're choking people. See you later. See you later.
I said,
You're on the transfer
you're on
list.
this WWE thing, right? Cool.
You know what I mean? See you later. And that was meant to be like, oh, the future Guendouzi. See you later. I don't care. You guys know who's boss, and that's what I like to see as well. And to be honest, like I think if they can get some signings in, it's looking like Partey might even go there.
Bro.
Brother, who knows what could happen?
What's the question I want to ask is what? Yeah, I was going to ask. What is the realization? What is the reality, or kind of where should Arsenal be trying to pin themselves now?
Next season, listen, Arsenal haven't played Champions League football in about 4 years, right? Is it?
Aubameyang hasn't touched Champions League football since he's been at Arsenal,
Exactly. So Arsenal, first and foremost, they need to go back to trying to become a top 4 team. So next season, they need to be challenging top 4. They need to be doing what United are doing this season. How we're trying to scrape in, like, can we break in? That's what they should be doing this year. And I think that's only a fair thing to ask for. A lot of them Arsenal boys have been together for a while. It's not a newly built squad that's just getting thrown together. He's just going to bring more quality into a squad that are already familiar with each other. You are booming youngsters.
I think Saka signing a new contract's big. I think if Aubameyang confirms that as well, they maybe get Partey in. I think there's a few pieces. For me, he's instilling the right principles. That's the most important thing, I think.
I haven't even seen this fancy football that people have been expecting.
No. I think in terms of as a unit, I think as a unit they're pressing a bit more. I think one of the few things I've highlighted in some of their games is even when opposition have the ball, the press seems a bit more unified.
There's 3 man each time at Wolves. I remember it was from the midfielders, the forwards are dropping back, midfielders are pressing from the side, and the right backs pressing all the time. It almost just seemed like they knew whenever a player gets in that area,
triggers.
Yeah,
and then they got Leicester tomorrow. And I think
that's another test. So that's another test.
Yes, it's a test, and I fancy them to pass that test as well.
Listen, we got them next week, bruv.
How about how do you think the Lacazette situation is going to end? Do you reckon he'll be sold?
I don't know. I mean, it depends on if he wants to stay on the bench. I don't think he's ever going to become Arsenal's starting striker again, in my opinion. So it really depends on what he wants to do. I think Arteta would love to have Laka as a sub striker. That's not a bad option. That's a decent number 2 option. So I don't think he'll be trying to force him out of the club. But in terms of
it all depends on Oba, I think.
No, see, that's what I'm about to say about Oba as well, though, because like with Oba, if he signs, or Arsenal lately, Oba hasn't even really been killing goals. He hasn't really been.
He hasn't been playing up top either.
But they're winning games. If I'm an Arsenal fan, I like it. I don't have to rely on Oba to score every single week. You know what I'm trying to say? So that's positive signs. But I think Oba's going to sign. But I think what's really important is that it's just about Lacazette. As I said, you do not mind having Lacazette as a second striker, but does he want to be that guy? I don't know. But I think he's probably now getting a reality check.
How old is he? 28?
He's getting a reality check that before. Remember when Emery was there? Yeah, there was all this talk about Oba and Laka want top 4 because they were getting built up like they're the kings of that club. Arteta's come in. You're not no king, fam. Lacazette, you're not no king. You're not going to no. Oh, I'm gonna go play Champions League football. Nah, mate. Nah, the reality is not that pretty, mate. So I think he's gonna stay as well.
And to be fair, I mean, if they do manage to get Ozil off wages as well, it opens up the wage bill to kind of flex and get some other signings elsewhere.
Get people like Partey and that. If they can get Partey, if they can get like 3-4 signings this summer, there's no reason why they shouldn't be challenging for the top 4.
And I mean, Tierney, like he is a stable left back. He's been injured, but since he's been back, he's looked astute. So it'll be interesting to see him for a season.
Brother, I wanted fucking him instead of Sessegnon, man. We were going Arsenal and Spurs at the same time. We're going for that player, and instead we said, nah. You lot can have Tierney. We'll go for Ryan Sessegnon.
Listen, the game's the game, man.
25 times yet.
The game's the game, man. The game's the game. But yeah, no, I think it'll be interesting to see because again, you got clubs like Wolves on all of this. Next season is going to be jam-packed. I mean, it's probably a nice segue to our weekly United report and our weekly Bruno report, actually.
Bro, I'm telling you now, you see next season, it will be the first season it becomes the top 8. Watch. You see how it went from top 4 to top 6 to top 8? Well, Leicester and Wolves have already been added to the generic top 6.
Leicester and Wolves, Leicester won't be there next season.
You don't think so?
I don't think they will.
Leicester won't be there.
Leicester's over-dependence on Vardy is very telling.
I don't think Wolves will be as well.
Osimhen coming in this summer.
He's going
Napoli, bro.
75 mil. Yeah, 75 mil. Yeah. That boy's in Italy, you know. Come like hush
What were
puppy.
what were you saying about so with United?
Yeah, give us our weekly Bruno, Pogba, MG, Rashford report.
Like, you know what it is right now.
This guy's so
I'm
smug.
telling you now, do you know what? It's too funny because
Bro,
right now,
I hate how smug he is. Bro.
Tell you what, Cam, before you go, I've seen a lot of people say this, and I wanted to ask if you feel the same. A lot of people essentially said they haven't felt like this since 2009, is what a lot of people are saying.
I don't know about all of that. Yeah, I was excited when we had Van Persie and stuff. So
Aye.
we ain't been looking forward to it since Fergie left. That's how I see it. Since Fergie left, I haven't been like, oh, I can't wait till Man United next play.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm buzzing. I'm like, when am Man United playing? You know what I mean? I'm looking at the time. I'm looking at the
going to sleep early, you know.
Bro, you know the way I see it, right, is I'm not gonna lie, like with obviously no fans and everything, with our team that we have now and the players, if they're fit, there's no stopping us, bro. Like there's no stopping. You can't stop that front five. You just can't. I'm being honest with you guys. Like you just can't. Like
We set title charge next
bro,
year, yeah?
No.
Listen, we'll get into that. We'll get into that.
No!
Wait. Right now, especially with the team that we got, like Villa, they're in trouble. They're in serious trouble this week on Thursday. Do you know what I mean? They're in serious trouble because, bro, like,
they said that match is going to be a custody fight for Jack Grealish.
bro, when you look at it, actually look at like what is going on. Like, actually deep it in terms of you've got a midfielder who's grabbing goals whenever he wants. Yeah, you've got Pogba not even coming out first gear at the moment. He's playing in first gear, deep line playmaker, swinging it about, just showing his brains. He's chilling. Then you got Greenwood, who you can't show him on either foot. He's a threat wherever he is. The guy Rico was excellent defending, bro. He still slapped it, Bins. That's excellent defending. Show him away.
Hey.
Show him he's perceived.
Is it too soon to ask, Cam?
The G word.
Is Greenwood generational?
See with me, I said, yeah, all the generational players, it's hard because unless they stick out like Messi, who was just generational from the get-go, all of the generational players either Owen won a golden boot, Rooney was at the Euros killing it, and he was playing from 16. Mbappe, Champions League. So like it's like I don't want to say it yet, you know what I mean? But yeah, in terms of talent, bro.
Ole said that he might be the best finisher he's ever seen, which is a big amount of praise.
Ole's been saying that,
from the start of the season.
But that's big, and it's not just him that said it. I think there's a few other pundits and people have come out and said it. The fact is, when you've got opposition managers like Frank Lampard coming out and saying, "Listen, he's amazing talent. Just take time with him." It goes to show that everyone's just looking at this guy and saying, "You know what? This guy is special." And like,
bro, he's so like, bro. Firstly, if you're an average player who can use both feet, you've now elevated into a good player. So imagine being a fantastic player who can use both feet. You're a special player, bro. You know
he doesn't have to set himself on either foot. Do you know how mad that is? He can just slap it.
He can just slap it. And when United went a goal down, you guys saw it in the chat. I said United will win. Like I'm not even panicking, bro. Not even panicking. That's confidence. You know what I'm saying? That's confidence.
I said easily. But now I need to ask a question.
Too fucking annoying right now.
You gave me the alley. So I can slam this one in for now.
Think about what teams are having to work against at the moment, though. There's too many options. You got Martial, who scored a hat trick in the box the other day, and he just said, "You know what? This week I'm going to slap it top bins from the corner." There's too many options at the moment, fam, for teams. The intensity is down and stuff. So as I said to you, man, when it comes to closed doors games, whose 11's better? Mine or yours? No 12th man, no extra wind, nothing. Just whose 11's better? Mine or yours?
No extra wind.
You know what I mean?
Man said the fans are doing.
No, it's true, man. It's true. The home advantage don't count. It's literally down to the players on the pitch.
Mm-hmm. And that's the way it's been. And teams are suffering, bro. Teams are suffering.
What I wanted to ask is, probably to round up anyway, is your defense record's been good, and the times when it's been bad, it's because of mistakes, which is De Gea and Maguire, which is fair to say. Your midfield is your midfield. I mean, it's top midfield. we've spoken, and you said that your forward, in terms of ability, it's not far off Salah Mane.
Defensively, how far are you off Newcastle?
What?
No, joking.
So with all of that, the question has to be, like, is there a title charge next year?
You see, for me, it depends on who we recruit. You know what I mean? If it's this 11, we're not going to get... If it's this team, we're not going to title charge. But if we get 3 or 4 people in the right areas, let's say we get Sancho, and then we get, I don't know, a DM, a left back or something. But I don't really know what we're going to recruit or a Grealish and stuff. Then I can start saying, you know what, we could do the little horse thing like Chelsea did in 13, 14. Like, oh, hey, listen, we might be there.
Let's see what happens by December.
Yeah, we might be there last 3 games, 5 points off, 7 points off. Who knows? You know what I mean? But in terms of like a bona fide title challenge, I still think we're a few away. But in terms of being little horses and, yo, if you slip up, we might capitalize. Dude, bro, we're about 3-4 signings away from that. So it really depends on who we recruit this summer. But I'm not going to shy away from it. Bro, Pogba and bro. Listen, all I'm saying is, bruv, next season...
Talk to me about the DM one, though. That one is... it's one that interests me because a lot of United fans will say that your midfielders have performed well this season. That's including McTominay, Fred, and Matic. 2 of them have signed... Well, one signed a 5-year deal, one signed a 3-year deal. So why specifically the DM?
Because Matic is 32, first of all, and he's a streaky type of player, bro. We've seen it at United. Matic has given us moments where he's been great for 15 games or something. And then it's like, oh, maybe his legs have died. And that could have potentially happened if we improved. We really improved. You guys see me, yeah?
Yeah.
We improved, but then lockdown came, and now his legs are fresh again. And okay, we go again, but we're not going to have lockdown all the time, are we? We really need someone in there. We really need someone in there that's going to be able to basically do what Matic is doing, but younger, fresher. You know what I'm trying to say? Younger, fresher, and somebody that's more durable. So,
McTom,
bro, like that's a real clear. No, McTom,
5K in 60 minutes. He's got the legs for it. He's got the legs for it.
McTom's not the standard for something like that. McTom's the type of player I'll play if we're playing at Etihad away and we need to start rattling some cages. Do you know what I mean? But in terms of...
I hear you. I hear what you said.
Yeah, I mean, at Old Trafford, if we're trying to build attacks and you're going to be giving it to your DM, you're going to be passing it out and stuff. I know we got Pogba doing the DLP thing now, but sometimes a team might just say, look, we're going to man mark Pogba today. I need my DM to be able to do a little bit more.
Seeing Pogba in that deep lying role, though, you can see he's itching sometimes to get involved. When he sees them moves flowing, he's like,
his body starts.
Let me off the leash.
But listen. Next season is serious problems in terms of we're gonna have real conversations about these midfielder rankings. That's what I'm gonna say.
KDB come outside.
What are you saying?
Yeah?
Agendas are starting already.
KDB come outside. Is that what you're saying?
Real conversations. That's what I'm gonna say.
They know. Don't be calling KDB out, please.
No, I'm not saying no more.
We've had enough of that this year.
That's what certain men are saying.
Yeah, this year.
I'm seeing certain United fans go on their platforms. Yeah. I've seen certain United fans go into their platforms and say that certain players are better than KDB already. So
they're too excited. But listen, Bruno, since 2018, 88 games, 83 goals and assists. This guy's not a joke. People were trying to say, oh, he's only getting 20-something goals and 20-something assists in Portugal because it's the Portuguese league.
They don't watch Serie A.
He's come to this country and he's putting down the same numbers: 7 goals in 14 games, 5 assists. He's already got over 10 goals. He's got 10 goals and assists in the league already. The guy is mad. And when he gets a full season, it's peak, fam. That's what I'm saying.
On that note,
I know you don't hate this
5 million.
I know you don't hate this confidence, mate. I know
5 million, and he could have been ours, fam. 5 fucking million.
Spurs are funny, man.
Hated club.
This guy said,
we're simmering. You know what I mean? We're simmering. We're simmering.
Listen, what I wanted to end with Salah. Like you mentioned numbers and goal contribution there. I just wanted to shout at Salah because my man has 100 goal contribution in the Premier League from 116 appearances. The only person to do it quicker is Alan Shearer with 100 and 100. And if you take into fact that 14 of those appearances were for Chelsea and there was only 2 goals, that's what, 102 appearances, 98 goal contribution. That guy is not normal. Like that guy is not normal.
Yeah.
He's not. And the thing is,
Bear of is in the pub era as well, though.
Great. Yes, statistically, he's doing his thing. You know what I mean? Like, big him up and stuff. So you can't really at it. But listen, them as well. I see signs brewing. Trust me.
No, we for next season will be interesting. But the reason why
Thiago signs for Liverpool,
I'm not worried.
You've got a sick midfield. That's what I'm saying.
You say that.
No, not because of that, bro. I don't think
that.
I don't think
Deep
Liverpool.
down, I know you're fearful.
Bro, I'm not worried. I swear to you, bro. I'm not.
And you know what the maddest thing is there is, I don't know. I feel like Jack Grealish should probably be better suited going to Liverpool as well, rather than both of these United clubs or Manchester clubs.
Tell me more about that. I've not heard that shout yet. Tell me more.
I think if you look at their midfield, they've been kind of missing someone like that.
What, a ball carrier?
A ball carrier, a creative player. I think they've got a lot of workhorses. Where we're saying Thiago is a perfect kind of mold to go into that team. But I think if they go for like a cheaper alternative, if you want to call it, I think Grealish
cheaper
would be a great fit.
Isn't good out of that 80 million?
If they get relegated, they're asking for 80 million.
True.
The thing about Thiago is he's a ridiculous baller, like ridiculous. But the thing about Liverpool is you see when on the weekend they played Keita, they went for kind of like a possession midfield. I don't rate them when they're trying to play possession Liverpool because
they're
when you give the ball to Salah and Mane's feet, the ball they're chasing their touches, mate.
No. Do you know what it was? Yeah, I didn't notice the boy Bobby was missing. You see the glue.
So you're telling me that Liverpool are just a Bobby Firmino away from being an average team? That's what
Don't do that. Don't put words like that in my mouth.
This is what they're doing the Laporte thing. They're doing the Laporte thing.
No, but you see how important he is when you take him away from that team. No other striker can offer you what he does.
That's good for them, but you're telling me
is that model sustainable though? Because
they're one Firmino injury away from being an average team. Is what you're saying. Exactly.
I said,
I've got a question.
Listen, you know what? Listen, you man, you lot that are watching this, you got a longer episode. I hope you're happy.
Cam's got a question. Let's end on that.
Oh, go on.
It's just a calm question. I want to know what your thoughts are on. This is for me, isn't it? I want to know what your thoughts are on. Why are you laughing, bro?
Because I know some fuckery.
It's not. It's two questions about Chelsea.
Go on.
The first question is, I want to know what your thoughts are on the old guard being the ones carrying Chelsea at the moment, and not the young bulls that Lampard that has been getting all the praise for this season. And
namely Willian and Giroud, right?
Yeah, and what your and Barkley, and what your thoughts are on the young bulls basically looking like their time's up.
First bit, I'm happy with what I'm seeing. I mean, on stoppage time, I've said it a lot of times where with Willian's ability, I've always wanted more goal contribution from him. Like, there's no one can ever say that he's not been a good servant. No one can ever say that he's not got ability, but it was like goal contribution, bro. Like this is 9 goals this season. It's his best return for us. And it's when we've needed it because we haven't got Hazard. We have, in terms of striking time, he fell off a bridge. So it's like we need to get goals from somewhere. If we don't, we're gonna drop out of this title race. So it's been sick to see him. The Barkley one's interesting because he's one of them players that he affects the game statistically, but his actual play at times is very questionable. Very, very questionable. You watch him play and it's like, what's going on here? But he will somehow get a goal and he'll get assists, especially within the last 10 games. He's managed to get goals and everything, but the way he plays is questionable. Giroud's a World Cup winner. Like, Giroud is someone that's tried and tested. And I think I mentioned it first. It was when we went to go and play Spurs after the United game when Giroud came on against United and scored. And then it was like he has to start the next game. It's like if you've got these guys that are experienced, well-versed, know how to get goals, bring other people into play and experience, you've got to rely on it. You can't just heavily go youth. Everything's about balance. And you can see it like within the current team and setup now. You've got Mason Mount, who's working really hard and whatnot, doing well. Pulisic, young, doing well. And then you've got the experienced heads. Aspilicueta, again, this is someone for the whole season we've been saying, he can't cross. He's still got our most assists in Premier League. Like, he's still delivering. You get where I'm coming from, playing on both sides. You need to have that balance. You can't, I've not seen a team have just young players and finish top 4 or do something, because you have to have that balance. Is important. So with the young players,
go on,
so with the young players, I think one of the key things is like your place in a squad. It's not just going to be there because you've got a manager that loves young players. You have to earn your right. You have to earn your right to play in that shirt, and that's the way it's going to be. A lot of these guys are probably in for a shock with the signings we've made. You may not see, you might not see game time for a long time. I'll give you one example. The Loftus-Cheek one is very interesting. If there was a normal season, he wouldn't be playing. The only reason he's playing now is because you need to get him match fitness. He doesn't look off the... Obviously, he's had an injury and whatnot, so it's harsh.
Pack of ass, bro.
But he would probably be playing under 20 and under 21s to get his match fitness right now. You're not going to have that luxury when there's normal football anymore. So it's like these guys have to pick up. Same with Cho and everything. But yeah, that's my opinion. Those two, wasn't it?
And then just the final question. So if Chelsea were to sign the players that you're linked with Declan Rice and you're linked with, and it's funny because we spoke about the Rice thing and then it comes out, but it is what it is. So
foresight, bro.
Rice, come on.
Declan Rice, Havertz, and you've already bought Werner and Ziyech. What does that leave Chelsea for next season? Do you believe
it's getting closer? It's getting closer, but the key thing is title charge. I can't say title charge because the key thing is we've shown that we can score goals.
You have one of the most talented squads in the Premier League.
Of course, but again, everything's about balance. We said it last week. Our goalkeeper's ranked 20th for saves. Our defense still can't defend. Declan Rice would be a great signing. A key thing we still have to remember though is, yes, he is a centre back and he's become this centre mid ball and whatnot, but he hasn't been. When was the last time he played centre back? No one can tell me.
He played against Wolves,
but consistently.
Cam is clued up.
You get me? So that's his boy. You get me? So yeah, in terms of bringing him in, and like you mentioned last week, if Declan Rice came in, that would be my A centre back. Who's going to partner him? How long is that partnership going to take to build? These are not things that happen overnight. So I think we definitely have to be closer. And what I expect from Chelsea is I don't expect us to be in this sort of position where we've been in the last 2 seasons where it's kind of like, okay, I want to climb into the party with you guys. No, I expect us to be, that point difference shouldn't be where it is. We shouldn't be battling with Leicester. That's what I definitely expect next season. We shouldn't be battling. Yeah. It should be like well away from everyone else. But I get where you're coming from. In terms of squad building, that's really good squad building. If you look at like what Klopp and everything was doing over 4 years, that's good squad building. Like you're building, and some of these guys have got good ages as well. So it's about putting it together and making sure that the pieces work. But again,
it's crazy. Just to find it's crazy because out of all of the lot that you guys have, in terms of the young players and stuff, it might actually only be Mason Mount that makes it. Probably, you got Reece James as well, but I don't know what we had, and Reece James. So, but in the rest, Gilmore, he's there, but how many games is he going to get? He might be getting told soon, a little loan might do you well. Cho, he's about to be a third choice winger, potentially, because Werner can play out there. Pulisic is out there. RLC, Loftus-Cheek, he's in huge trouble.
But
Tammy,
Tammy
as well.
We said this our first episode back.
24, bro.
Yeah.
Like people.
He is there, Lingard.
Literally, bro. People talk about like, oh wow, Grealish is 24, but look what Grealish is doing right now.
Grealish is playing games.
He's playing games.
He's playing games.
He's in trouble because it's not like he lit up Crystal Palace either.
But this goes back to what we said.
At the crossroads.
No, 100%. That's why we said next season is key for some bare of these men. Because at the end of the day, the thing that can kill, essentially, well, for lack of a better term, people like Cho and Loftus-Cheek is when you have injuries, right? You need to be in a position where you can play with freedom, right? And get your game time and whatnot. You're not going to have that luxury at Chelsea. We're trying to do big things. You get me? So every time you touch the pitch, we need to see something. That's not your fault. That's the nature of how football is at that level. We have to see something. Same thing with Rashford at the moment. Rashford is still delivering assists and whatnot, but people are looking at him and being like, "Oh, listen, where's the match fitness? We need to see it." That's the level at this level. When you're like let's say like a Burnley, like McNeil got injured. If he's not delivering and whatnot, it's kind of all right. You are a gem. In this sort of arena, no, bro. Listen, we've got people that can fill in, so you're not gonna get that luxury. So
I look at it and I just look at everyone that's around their age groups and stuff, and it's like Loftus is actually nearly one of the oldest of the lot, and you've got the Fodens, you've got the Grealishes, you've got the Maddison, you got so much talent trying to come through now. It's like, yo, England, you're in trouble. Chelsea, you're in trouble.
Bro, we say it all the time. Application,
knock on the manager's door and asking what's going on.
Application is the trump card. Application is always the trump card. With Loftus-Cheek, his ability in the youth ranks was there.
Now they're sorry, bro. Just to add, so you can add it on. Now Mason Mount is putting in good performances in number 8.
Yeah,
it's like, hold on, Loftus-Cheek, you might be in the mud.
But again, ability is good. But the trump of everything's application. It's what you do when you're on the pitch. And the key thing, I think I mentioned it before. I know Dele Alli's in the mud at the moment, but if you compare Dele Alli to Loftus-Cheek, Loftus-Cheek doesn't have 100 appearances his senior year. Dele Alli has about 300. He's well seasoned. You get me? He's out here. Like, he's played. He understands his body. He understands his position.
Dele Alli's got the body of a 30-year-old, bro.
Yeah, because he's played a lot of games. But again, he's played football. Loftus-Cheek is in a situation where he hasn't really played football. He's played at one season at Crystal Palace. He hasn't really played football.
That's his level, by the way.
You're
his level.
Constantly catching up. So you have to show something. And again, with that injury, it makes it worse. Because before the injury, he was showing glimpses. Now it's like you're not going to be given time. So
we say showing glimpses like he's 18. Bro.
Yeah, he's 20.
No. When I say showing glimpses, as in like with someone you haven't seen, you're showing glimpses of the ability, but like I said, application is trump. Application trumps everything.
At 23, yeah. 23 is
I'm not trying to hear glimpses.
Yeah,
23 you should be a settled player. Yeah, 23 you should be a settled player at any level.
23 is the age where I say, all right, I'm going to fully judge you now. Usually, you know me, like when they're 18, 19, 20, I'm always like, hey, let's see, like patience. Obviously, I'll be like, I rate this guy, but I'll be like, hey.
Let Rashford grow.
Bro. Look at the screen. Rashford's been under.
I hear it.
And you look at Loftus-Cheek and he's 23 now. Yeah. And we're still talking about glimpses.
No, 20. The reason why 23
goals next season, we're talking about him like, well, what's going on with him?
The reason why 23 is such a good number is because at like youth level, that is like kind of that the last year. You should be anywhere near a youth team.
That's when they start looking at your contract like,
what's going So wait, hold on. What he's been a scholar plus 1 year pro for what? For how long? What's going on here, bro? Who didn't check this paperwork?
You authorized this.
So literally, and like you got to think about it, like in terms of young talents. When a young talent breaks into a team, a young talent is typically 18, 19. You're on the fringes. 19, 20, you get a few more games or whatnot. 20, 21, you're settled, sporadic player. 22, you're there. And that's at any level. Like, even if you went to the championship, a 23-year-old player has probably been in the first team since they were 18.
Yeah. And you look at it, especially at Chelsea, it's funny because you can get the best examples at Chelsea, which is kind of why I don't really understand with the Loftus-Cheek thing, because Mason Mount started the season really well.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Went on a dip, as any young player would.
Yeah.
Young players are going to go on a dip. If people think Mason Greenwood is going to score every game in a row, then you're in for a shock.
He's got to grow. He's got to learn.
Exactly. So Mount went on a dip, and now he's kind of improving a little bit again, kind of getting back to just playing to a decent level. Do you know what I mean?
So, bro, can I quickly say something? You see on the Mount one, the Mount one, again, is so interesting because he's played like 3 or 4 positions, right? And all those positions, you have different expectations. When he was on the wing, you need to score goals. When he was on the cam, you need to create. When he's in the 8, you need to bob around and whatnot. So for him, again, for someone in your first year in the Premier League, I just think that he has done well to keep being in contention and keep coming back over and over again.
Minutes behind Aspie and...
Bro, he's played every single game. He's featured in every single game.
So you got to look at it though, like with him,
Lampard's son.
Chelsea battered him though. Chelsea fans killed him in his bad form. And let's not even talk about what Chelsea fans are doing to Hudson-Odoi right now. The guys, listen, as much as I'm like, I mess around when I'm on show and stuff, you know what I mean? Bro, the guy's a good little talent. He got injured. He hasn't had many games. He played.
You need
10
game
games
time back. Yeah.
He just come back off an Achilles. What the hell did you Chelsea? Because I put that tweet out, the Spurs joke one about Spurs, and people put it like, man snuck in Hudson, you know. I'm like, what's wrong with all these people?
Again,
how are you writing off a 19-year-old like this?
For me, you have to put things
like,
into. Sorry, bro. You have to put things into perspective. This is a player.
Loftus-Cheek gets more leeway than Hudson-Odoi. I do not get that, bro.
No, it's crazy. It's favoritism. It's favoritism. For the Loftus-Cheek thing, it's favoritism. And again, it's favoritism off the base of the perception of the ability. But like I said before, to round it up, application trumps everything. You can have all the ability in the world. If you can't apply yourself, it doesn't mean anything. Ricardo Quaresma had all the ability. Man couldn't. We didn't see anything. Man came Chelsea. We didn't even see him at Chelsea. You get me? Yeah, man, that man
wasted him, man.
So like, and this is it.
Fam, wasted him.
You wasted him, lad.
Fam, because
man had the best outside the boot ball in football history.
Jose said he looked at him and he said, "You know what? Your man just sent you here on loan. You're here on punishment. I can't do anything for you. Where's the application?" This is the words from Jose.
Do you remember?
So listen, that's all I've got to say on that, man. Next season is key for all of them. But you, man, thanks for asking me that. Actually, it's good to get the Chelsea stuff out there. You man got a long pod today, man. You man should be happy, bro.
Tomorrow as well, Chelsea Palace. 3 points. Arsenal Leicester. That is the big one, man. But Chelsea are going to beat Palace, man. Zaha, you want to turn up this season or?
We're going to Zaha next week, but Arsenal, listen, do everyone a favour. Make sure you're following, make sure you're subscribing, make sure you're following the personals as well, because everyone's doing the stuff here and there. Make sure you check out. So you man got anything that you need to shout out that you're doing or whatnot?
No.
Got a thing with rants coming?
We're gonna put all our personals on our stories, on our Stoppage story. Follow our personals. We have 4,000 something on the Stoppage Time. That means all 4,000 should be following our personals as well.
Man said quick maths. I thought he was gonna fuck it up. I thought he was gonna say all 3,500.
Nah, all 4,000 should be following us individually as well. We should all see our followers go up by 4,000, mate. So
listen, man, it's been real. You man. Remember, subscribe and make sure you hit the notification stuff so the stuff can go straight to your phone.
And like it as well, man.
Trust me, man. Trust me. All right, man. In a bit.
All right, man. That was a good one, man.
Hey,
love.
All right, love, man.